take the bad with the good. What I mean by that is our first show in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. Rest in peace, Mike Hall. Man, me and Kerwin went up there. Kerwin sold out it. It was over 300 people. The only problem is the show was about 2.5 hours. I would never forget when the guy said, "Hey, great show. You sold it out. But on a comedy club in America, no comedy club in America won a 2-hour show." So I realized, I said, man, we're doing something wrong here. I took that as game. I take the criticism if you can learn from it. And that's what a lot of people don't do. Today's generation it's not easy, so they just quit.
Yeah.
It's just like
that's the path.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, they wouldn't let me do this, so man, I'm doing now, man. You find a way. If this is your passion, you said you wanted to do this, go do it. 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 Go do it.
Welcome to Wow Black, a seriously opinionated podcast bringing you the real and raw on anything happening while Black. If Black culture's there, we're there. If you're pissed or empowered, then let's talk about it. Ride with us on this all Black everything.
Everybody, welcome back to Wild Black.
Welcome back.
Man, I am so excited about the series we are bringing to you all right now. And it's not for the reasons you may think, right? I'm excited today because for the next 4 episodes, every person you'll hear from is from my hometown, Vicksburg, Mississippi, small town, Mississippi. And why that's so important to me is because I truly believe that the inspiration we tap into in order to build amazing isn't limited to our geographic location. Some of the most amazing, most innovative, and most influential people come from what so many would consider the middle of nowhere. That's where I'm from. These are the people who don't allow the limits of their eyesight to restrict that of their dreamscape. Every day, every single day, these are the people whose imagination takes them places that most people can't even fathom. And although the terrain may be a bit foreign, the desire to explore, to achieve, and to win is a familiar and comfortable place for people like this. All this month, as I said, we're bringing you dope-ass individuals who are creating amazing, carving out their own space and defining success on their own terms. And on top of that, all from small-town Mississippi, all from Vicksburg. But trust when I tell you that we may be from small-town Mississippi, but none of us are playing small. Before I introduce you to today's guest, I want each of you to make a silent promise to yourself. I want you to hear these stories and nuggets of inspiration that are going to hit you all month long and apply them to your world and create the success you see when you close your eyes. Here's the secret. You already have what it takes to be successful. You just have to move past the fear and move into the education and accept your responsibility to act. Learn and act. That's how you win. The worst thing that can happen is absolutely nothing, and that's exactly where you are right now. So with that, I'm going to shut up and introduce our guest. Today's guest is Mr. Elton Pope, and he damn near single-handedly made comedy a thing in Mississippi. He did this on his own back without the experience. He dreamed a dream, and he went out and achieved that dream and is still achieving it. He didn't have a history or a career in entertainment. He didn't have a world full of contacts in that industry. He had a dream, and he took action. Elton is the founder and CEO of Carpe Diem Entertainment and Carpe Diem Management. Not only does he ensure Mississippi and now several other states laugh at the funny, but he's leading the change on the management of stage and internet comics. Elton, brother, welcome to Wild Black, man.
Hey, thank y'all for having me, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Whew, that was a mouthful.
Well, you went through it.
That was a mouthful. We're trying to get through it today.
I see you.
Elton, bro, it's real talk, man. Like being from the same place, I've had the luxury and the pleasure to watch you through connections, through social media, and to see what you've done, man. So to see you build what you have built in a place where no one expects us to build it is something that I salute you for. And brother, I just respect you for even doing that, man. So I'd love for you to tell people just a little bit more about who you are and what it is that you do, bro.
Man, I'm Elton Pope. I manage internet comedians. I manage people who have a knack for going viral. A lot of them normally when I get them, they're new. They make videos. They hadn't been on stage a lot, so I kind of groom them and make them a full comedian, man. Yeah. and show them ways to get paid. Show them how to get paid off the videos, getting paid off show money, and, just the different avenues in the industry. Yeah. So, man, that's kind of what I do. And I take them slow. I show them I have an open book policy. And, we just take care of our people,
I love it, bro. I love it. Listen, we do this thing called Wild... All right, bro, that's your thing. It's too much Vicksburg, man. I get excited, bro. I get excited.
You in the zone, baby. You in the zone. It's all good. It's all good. It's good to be in the zone. All right, so now we're going to move into the section called Wild Black Shit. Wild Black Shit consists of 3 questions. First 2 questions get you warmed up, and then the last question is our signature question we ask every single guest on Wild Black.
Ooh.
All right? You ready to go?
I'm ready.
Don't let this first question get you in trouble.
It's going to throw you. It might throw you off a little bit.
You've been married for a minute. Tread slowly, tread carefully, brother.
I can read the question again if you need me to. You just let me know. All right. Let's go back a few years. Think the late 1990s in the early 2000s. What are the top 3 songs on your Get the Draws Slow Jam playlist?
Oh,
we can call it a playlist or a tape, because back then...
Right, I went back, I showed put tape.
Yeah, tape.
I was rocking with that Usher, the Nice and Slow.
Okay.
Throw some Kales in there. Any one of them Kales going to get them done, so...
Yeah.
That's about it.
Wild Black does not support nor condone.
Right. The disclaimer.
Right.
All right, second question, because you killed that first one. You are back in school, and unfortunately, you failed all your classes. Which Black TV dad are you most afraid to report the bad grades to? A, Ghost from Power. B, Rowan Olivia's dad from Power.
Oh, shit. That's from...
Who was that? I was like, who?
What was the show? What was the Olivia Pope show? Scandal.
Yeah. Scandal.
That's what you get when you redoing the questions right before.
Yeah, I was say Power. Bernie from the Bernie Mac Show, that's 3. Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince, that's 4. And James Evan from Good Times, that's 5.
Ghost, Olivia's dad from Scandal, Bernie, Uncle Phil, and Brother James from Good Times.
Man, James, I would... I would...
Hands down.
Yeah, hands down. He did not play, so now...
Yeah. Everybody else would. I don't think it would be no big thing, but right there, you might get knocked through a window or something.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you on Good Time. Third question.
James had ass whooping arms. I'm sorry.
And an ass whooping head.
The head, man.
Yeah, right. All right. Third question. And our signature question. What do you love most about life while Black?
It's one of them things where you walk with your chest stuck out, and you just defy the odds, man. I mean, they try to put you in a box and try to narrow you, but we greater than that, man. So we just consistently rise to the top, man. And that's what I like, proving that the naysayers wrong, man. We have this determination about us. We ain't gonna quit, so. You know what I mean? Yep. What they gonna do? So, man, that's what I like about it.
I love that cream don't rise to the top. We do.
Yeah,
right.
That's my new shit right there. Made that up on the spot. That's for you, Wild Black. Right. So look, we're gonna move into our dope quote, and our dope quote is something from the mouth of someone Black that has relevance on the topic for today. It's from history or religion, entertainment, the arts. Doesn't really matter, but it just pertains to what we're talking about today. I'm going to take a quick second and read you this quote, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations, by Mae Jemison. When you hear that, bro, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
Man, just if somebody said it can't be done, still try it.
Amen. Because it can't be done if you don't try.
Right.
It is impossible if you don't put any effort forward in it.
And you can't quit.
That's it. Cool. Well, look. I want to get into this conversation, man, because I think what you've been able to do is amazing. And I want everyone listening to recognize that they can do it too. I want them to hear from you on what it took, where you failed, where you won, where you were scared. I want them to understand that every feeling that they're feeling today, you already felt. You just found a way to move through that feeling and create your own success. So let's start with this. Man, who the hell gave you permission to go out here and just create shit like that? Who told you could do that, bro?
Man,
From Mississippi.
Right.
Just kind of fell into it, man. One of my good friends, Fred Smoot, Washington Redskin, former Mississippi State Bulldog. It was his birthday. He said, I want to do a comedy show. I had never did it before. He put me over it, and I had to book the talent. Ended up going through a booking agency in New York.
Right.
Got raped, man. We paid
I know they charged the shit out you on that one.
And, from building connections with the comedians, found out they wasn't even that much. So, it wasn't my money, but at the time I was hurt because I'm like, man, this is my guy, we took an L. So it was just learning, man, trial and error. And, man, that was my first show ever. And then I said, hey, you know what? I want to bring one to Vicksburg. So I did it at the Battlefield Inn, man. You remember Battlefield Inn? That. So my first show, man, that's probably about 12 years ago,
Tell us about the first show. Who was it?
It was Carlos Miller, man. Y'all remember Carlos Miller from the 85 South Show?
Yeah.
He was there, man, yeah. Daryl Dams was there and K-Dub. It was a great show, man. But we
I know Carlos was even in the world 12 years ago doing his thing. That's what's up.
And he was, very funny still. Dude is naturally funny. I
believe it.
And he's from Mississippi.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, from Tupelo. From Oxford.
Man, I did not know.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense, though. He got that Mississippi swag.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Listen, what was the biggest lesson you learned from the very first show you did?
Man, just do it yourself. Stop. If you want something done right, do it yourself. You can't do everything yourself, but the majority of what has to be handled, handle it,
Yeah. You don't come from the world of entertainment, right?
No.
How did you break in? How did you, after getting bent over by the booking agency, and that's what they do, they charge the shit out of you for stuff that they shouldn't, right? After going through that, how did you create these inroads? How did you make these contacts? How did you build Show 2?
Man, with the comedians, Marvin Hunter from Vicksburg, man, he guided me all the way, man. Great guy.
Yeah.
He actually plugged me with the Kevin Hart of the City Showcase.
I remember that.
Man, one of the biggest projects of my life. And
wasn't Rita Brent in that too?
Yeah. Very talented.
Yeah.
And man, Marvin, introduced me to the guys. I was cutting my grass one day. They called me from California, man. Hey, can you do this? Absolutely, I can. And we made it happen, man. So shout out to Marvin Hunter. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. He's out here in Atlanta too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm going to see him at the end of the month.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where's he performing at?
At the Cobb Energy Arena with Ricky Smiley.
Yeah.
Man, he's a funny motherfucker, man.
Man, he hilarious.
He is a funny motherfucker, boy.
Hilarious, yeah. Real good dude, too.
Yeah, man. Solid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talk to us with a little more detail around the first things you did. And I don't mean just picking up the phone and calling the booking agents. How did you motivate yourself to even jump out here and try this?
Man, knew it was a dry market, realized there wasn't a lot of comedy in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I said, let me try it. It was a lot of rap. It was a lot of R&B, a lot of blues. Let me try comedy. And so just kind of stayed at it, man. Kind of kept a relationship with the comedians and made sure that everybody got paid, treated them good. At the end of the day, they happy. They kept in contact with him.
Yeah.
There was a guy named K-Dub. He's from Mississippi also.
Mm-hmm.
He's from here. He stay in Atlanta now. Very funny guy. Plugged me with a lot of his co-workers and so it was just like, hey, this is a good guy. I need to link up. He's very funny.
Yeah.
So I started just running the shows. I was taking my time, promoting old school, flyers on cars,
Yeah. Doing the work,
man. And we just built and built off every show.
Did you have a dream then? Did you have a vision?
You know what? Right then, I can honestly say I never thought I would be managing. I just said, hey, I was like, man, I'm gonna be a big promoter. I want to be, do some shows and travel and do some comedy shows.
Right.
And I didn't know if it was gonna turn out how I wanted it to, but man, being blessed.
Are you surprised at where you are now?
And you know what? I am. And the only reason I say that is because it ain't nothing that I went to school for. It ain't nothing that I grew up and said, hey, I wanted to do it. But it's been a lot of hard work. And, that's what I've been saying. You can do anything. the casinos, from the casino contracts to the Kevin Hart Heart of the City to the Miller Lite stand-up comedy competition.
Yeah.
I did all that. And it's, it's just, it builds your bio. It builds, and you keep climbing. People in certain regions, they'll call you. Hey, we're in New York. We want to set up a showcase here. Naturally, they don't know, the demographics, so they're going to reach out to you. You set it up. You get a finder's fee and money for that.
Yeah.
So you just work off your passion, man. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with comedy, you know?
Yeah. You came into this world through a friend wanting to create a show. And now you find yourself 12, 13 years later living in the space with a real passion for the work. Where from that start to where you are now did you realize that you actually loved it?
From the first show, seeing people laugh, man, having a bad day, man, coming in, going through, you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
But they're laughing and having a good time and changing how people feel.
Right.
And that's kind of what I fell in love with, Yeah. It never gets old. Me laughing, you can be going through something and a good laugh, hell, you all right, You got
to go seek that out sometimes.
Yeah.
I need a little laughter in my life. I need it.
And sometimes it's just so bad you got to laugh about it. It is what it is. But that's kind of what happened. I just kind of what I did. I just kind of built my resume with comics, treated them right, and just started putting on shows. And then what I started doing was I got smart. Right. They was like, man, you spending money on one show, but if you do 2 or 3 shows in the same weekend, you get us at a cheaper rate. So I started doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like Vicksburg, Jackson, and I had another guy in Hattiesburg named Wody. I would just team up with him, and now boom, boom, boom. So now you're creating a run, and in certain states, I looked up. It's called the Chitlin Circuit.
Right, right.
It's where all the black people had to perform. All the black comics had to perform back where they would have let us. And they would go through Chicago and Tennessee, and it was little certain areas and clubs that they would perform in. So we just started kind of, remodeling the Chitlin Circuit, bringing it back kind of. Yeah. Wherever it's a dry county, right? It don't have to be big, don't have to be, hey, we're going to go, let's give them some entertainment,
What do you tell the people who are themselves in small town America, and they may have a desire to do something, they may not even know what it is, but what do you tell the person who thinks, my market can't handle this? I can't bring this here. Ain't but 12 people coming. How do you get past that?
You got to do it. It does not take all day to do nothing. Yeah. And you can tell yourself, the people around you going to say, man, I don't know if that's a good idea. But you don't know if it's a good idea, but you got to try it. And you got to be real with yourself and say, hey, is this something you can build on, or it's just a wash right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can build on it. You just have to build on it. And when people realize that, you're a stand-up promoter, you're a stand-up guy, the people that's on the flyer are going to come, because they got the money and everybody's happy, and, they're going to come and it's a good show. So it might not be you're bringing Ricky Smiley per se with the name, right? But, when you start off, you bring people like Marvin Hunter, who he's on Ricky Smiley's show now. Yeah. So you see how they grow and how everybody, it's just it's a platform, man, that everybody can use, you know?
Yeah. Take a second. Let's talk about the business behind it, right? So I'm going to reference this a lot because I think the beginning is always important. When you got that initial call to put that initial show together and you didn't know what the hell you were doing, you just went out there and figured it out. How did you figure out, how did you learn what kind of team you needed in order to find your way towards success?
Well, you find that out on show day because you try to do everything, but you can't work the door. You can't. You need a sound man. You can't do that. You can't do everything by yourself. So I realized you got to have a team. Yeah. And most importantly is you got to know the people you're working with, like with the talent. Like one thing I like comedy, but I don't like insulting comedy. So if you're a comedian and all you're gonna do is talk about the people in the crowd, I probably won't book you. But if you can come and give some material by everyday life or something that's funny, I'll book you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right. You got a brand that you really rocking with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be part of the show. You know, they want to come to laugh.
Right. They want to come to be entertained, not to be entertained.
You know.
Yeah.
Man, if you had to elevate outside of comedy, and you had to talk about the inspiration to build a brand, what do you tell the people listening now who want to do that? Right? It may not be comedy, but they know that there's something they want to build. What do you tell them?
Man, go do it. Seize the day. Stop wasting all that time. You sitting back, waiting on the time to get right. It's never gonna get right. That you telling yourself, oh, in a year I'll be ready to do this. Well, do it now, because you wasting time. You're gonna learn on the fly anyway. So you might as well go ahead and get going now. You know, get your growing pains out the way now.
Yeah, yeah. What does loss feel like?
You know what? It feels like you don't like it, but you're going to try it again because you don't like the outcome of it. So it's almost just like, you know, that happened, but I could have did. You got to be real with yourself in a loss. Because because you can lie and say, oh, man, it just didn't, it didn't happen. But no, you know what you didn't do. And you know what you could have done better.
Yeah.
And if you're in business, you got to be real with yourself and say, okay, I didn't do this, and I need to do this next time. Because the results is the only thing that matter.
That's it.
Right?
That's
it.
100. Yeah.
That's 100.
Same question, opposite side. What does the win feel like?
Man, the wind feel like a champagne. Everybody happy, man. Everybody happy. But it's a team effort when you realize that too. So not only do you not only win, you make sure everybody around you win. And that's the part about being when you're over something. You sell out a show, you give the comedians bonuses just because you sold out, and they agree to do a price for this. Hey, boom,
you
come on back.
The way they're supposed
that's
to be
what
taken
you
care
do.
of.
That's what you do. That's how you build relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me this: we've talked about what it took and message for people who want to build, but now let's talk about what you did yourself. Right? You started. You weren't a company at the time. You were an individual planning a comedy stop itself. But someplace along that line, you decided to form a promotion company. Someplace along that line, you decided, I'm going to start managing artists. And I can only assume that someplace along the same line, you'll pick up and do something else. How did that happen? Because it's not accidental, right? There's something that happened there.
Man, just got in it in a lower level, learning everything, man. From the comedy clubs going, man, I take out the trash, man. I mean, when you want to learn, you're going to learn the whole game. And then you realize that it's a lot of people out here, the average comedian, they don't have the following as the internet guys. Mm-hmm. But now the internet guys might not be as funny. So you have to take them and groom them. You just can't say, hey, go get on stage and make them laugh. You're going to lose them like that.
Right.
You got to take them and let them study. If they love comedy, they got to love it first.
Right.
If they love it, they're going to grow. If they don't,
they're going to go.
It's going to be a money grab, and it ain't going to last long.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
How did you get comfortable doing that?
Man, just trial and error. Yeah. That's why I say go. Man, don't ever listen to what somebody say. Oh, you don't know. Go. Teach yourself. That's why they got YouTube, Home Depot, do-it-yourself books. You can put, man, you can pull out an alternator with YouTube. You just gotta do the research, read. Don't be afraid to learn. You don't know it all. Surround yourself with people who can help you.
Yeah, just the level of involvement and engagement, man. It ain't no laziness in this quest. Like it ain't no pause. It's straight gas. It's straight go. And it's a desire that that you can actually do anything you set your mind to, which is kind of the momentum that you operate from look like. Yeah, that's dope.
Are people giving grace for the mistakes you make? Especially when you're starting, right? And I'll add a little more context, right? When you jump out and you're doing your first few shows, maybe it's the first time you've booked a spot, the club owner or manager has expectations. They have things that they're looking for. that you as a brand new person just simply may not know, right? How do you move through that when you don't know what you don't know?
Well, man, and you just have to be understanding and take the bad with the good. What I mean by that is our first show in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. Rest in peace, Mike Hall. Man, me and Kerwin went up there. Kerwin sold out it. It was over 300 people. The only problem is the show was about 2.5 hours. I would never forget when the guy said, "Hey, great show. You sold it out. But on a comedy club in America, no comedy club in America want a 2-hour show." So I realized, I said, man, we're doing something wrong here. Like, so I took that as game. I take the criticism if you can learn from it. And that's what a lot of people don't do. Today's generation it's not easy, so they just quit.
Yeah.
It's just like
that's the path.
Yeah, like oh man, they wouldn't let me do this, so man, I'm doing now. Man, you find a way. If this is your passion, you said you wanted to do this, go do it.
Yeah, live with the mistakes, learn from the mistakes.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like even in that incident, you had someone who saw enough in you to say, let me give him some game. Let me redirect. Let me correct a little bit so things get nothing but better. How's your relationship with that particular club now?
Man, we still work there. We still work there.
Yeah, figured it had to be. All right, if you had to boil down what you do to 3 things, what do you think those 3 things are?
Number 1 is get my artists paid.
Amen.
They get paid. They go from having views to making no money to getting paid. I also teach them how to be a comedian. We groom them. They're naturally funny.
Right.
But they may not know how to set up a joke.
Right.
And that's important,
Yeah.
And what we do also is we surround our comedians, our artists, with good comedians who will teach them. Been in the game for 20 years. Can show them what to do. They just have to listen,
Yeah.
And third, man, what I do is I just make it easy for them. I make it to where all they got to do is show up, do the show. Everything is handled. They get paid. I do all the dirty work.
I love
and
it.
that's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do.
I feel that. Listen, so we had Curran on the show, and listeners, you'll hear that episode next week. One of the stories he told was how you were relentless in knocking on his door. I think he said something to the effect that you knocked on the front door, you knocked on the back door, and you opened the window, and he kept telling you no. He kept like, nope, I'm going out of town. I can't do it. And the way he talked about it was because he was operating from a place of fear. He didn't know how to stand up and tell a joke in the moment, right? What is it about you and your foresight and vision that told you, 1, he was where you should be knocking, and 2, gave you the credibility, the ability to say, I want to put you on?
Man, I just seen his work ethic. He's one of the hardest working comedians in the game, period.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious too.
You watch his page, he puts tons of value out. It's content out, and it's coming every day. So it was a no-brainer for me. It was right there in Vicksburg. I'm like, man, listen, you got 100,000 followers. You need to turn that into some money.
Yeah.
Period, man. I know you see the likes, man. You got to structure it to where you could be getting paid because this is a new wave here. And he didn't understand it at first, but I'm like, man, people calling, they want to see you. So let's just see what we can do. And man, we launched our own tour, and it's been successful, man, ever since.
I fucking love it, man. So he was 100,000 then. On Instagram by itself, I know he's right at 1 million now.
Right at 1 million,
and that's just one of his platforms. So I know Kerwin on a regular basis is talking to millions of people and engaging with millions more. But you said a key thing that I think is important for anyone who's looking to build a business. You started talking about how do we translate these likes and these follows to these dollars. What does that look like in your world? How does someone translate likes and follows and engagement into hard, real money?
Man, you have to go to YouTube, get your social media monetized. Make a lot of people got views, but it's foolishness. And they're not gonna come see you at a show because You know, man, you're going in, you're fighting, or you're doing, it's foolishness. So they don't want to sit up here and watch you do stand-up. You're killing your brand. You got to understand. If you notice one thing about Kerwin, he don't cuss.
Yeah.
At all. And, that's a whole nother brand.
Yeah.
That he can win off of, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I encourage. These guys are already stars. You just got to guide them and show them how to get the money off of it, which is easy.
Yeah, yeah. How many different ways are there to make money from
Man,
this?
it's a ton. Endorsements, promotions, shows, man. I mean, listen, they can make money. And it's a new era. It's right now, you don't need Hollywood. You can go shoot your own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get the views and the money if that's what you're after.
Yeah.
You know? It's just you got to do it. You got to believe in yourself and go do it.
I love that. Tell us about the mistakes you've made.
Plenty. Man, when I first came in, I came in with a mindset of, man, you know what are we going to do? I'm going to do this. We're not going to work with nobody. But you have to work with people.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you will say, I'm going to go do a show in Hattiesburg. But, you know, it's another brother that's doing shows in Hattiesburg. Instead of you going, why don't you team up with him? You know, if you can learn from each other, you can help each other. It ain't all about you doing it yourself. It's about you seeing what another guy doing and say, hey, man, we can team up together. Hey, you know, and everybody happy at the end of the day. That's kind of what I do. I just make relationships and build on them. You know, one of the things that I try not to do is just look at people like, oh, man, he's stepping on my toes. No, man, this is a free world. When people see it and you're doing it right, they're going to want to do it, you know?
Yeah. And
you ought to feel encouraged. You ought to say, hey, man, when I was doing it, nobody was doing it. Now, look, they want to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's life. That lets you know you're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So I say, man, I kind of doubted myself at first. I kind of moved slow, like, I don't think we're ready for it. And then my wife was like, you should just go ahead and do it. If this is what you're going to do, do it. At the time, I was working for the state. So I was kind of, I was afraid to take that step. Right. You know, you got a security of a check coming every 2 weeks, man. So, you know, you can get kind of comfortable.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and one thing about it, when I stepped out independent, when I was paying $600 for insurance, I missed that state job. I'm like, wait, wait a minute now. Right. But that's just all the growing pains. That's all, you know, when you step out and be entrepreneurs and work for yourself, you got to do it the right way. And there's no way I was going to be out here with my family and have no insurance, you know. Yeah. So that's just handling your business and being smart, you know.
Yeah. Talk to me about mentorship, man. Have people been there to mentor and teach you? And are you out there doing the same for others?
Man, absolutely, man. I was mentored by Dick Gregory, man, the late, great Dick Gregory.
Oh, wow.
Did several shows with him, man. Bro. I did his final show was in Little Rock before he died. Did 2 other shows before that in Jackson, Mississippi, and in Nashville, Tennessee. Great guy. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you. I appreciate all the knowledge you gave me, man. And, you know, I'll never forget some of that stuff.
Wow. Yeah. How the hell did that come to me?
Yeah, that
because that was a real flex right there.
Yeah, that was strong, there, boy.
Man, just booked him for a show in Jackson, and we linked up, man. At the time, he wasn't really working, so I was kind of taking him into different markets, putting money in his pocket, and learning, man, soaking up game. And man, the brother, he was a very intelligent guy.
I know there was some game there.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there. So how are you helping other folks trying to break in?
Man, I coach a youth football team. We make it free. Mm-hmm. We're the only youth organization in our league that does not charge anything. Wow. So, man, we bring them in, you know, and we try to teach them more than just football. Because in football, you know, you learn a lot of discipline that helps you in life. So, man, that's kind of how I'm giving back now. Right. Is just donating my time, the money, and effort on these kids, and trying to give them something positive to do in the community. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. What's missing in... let me take a step back. This is going to be more of an overall question. What's missing in comedy right now?
Man, what's missing in comedy right now I would say is people need to lighten up, man. It's comedy for a reason, man.
Right. Satire.
People are gonna make fun of things that that you might not agree with. Just lighten up, and that's what's missing.
Yeah.
It's comedy for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your management company. What's the goal there? Who are some of the comics that you're managing that people should be looking out for? And where are you taking things?
Man, we're always an open roster looking to add new people, but we're gonna take it into a booking agency, a production company. We do everything in-house. Shout out to Tyler Perry. When you give us that vision, it's a lot, man. Comedian-wise, Hey Tony is a new guy that I'm looking at. He's very funny, has a lot of followers. Check him out. Justin Whitehead, he's from Atlanta. I don't know if y'all know Justin Whitehead. He does the 600-pound club. Have y'all seen that?
Yep.
Very funny brother. Check him out. Timothy Scott, a.k.a. Timbe from Houston, Texas. Over 1 million followers. Very funny guy. Check him out.
So for someone, not on the business side, but someone who wants to break into comedy or who's already trying to break into comedy, how do they get in touch with you? How do they connect with you? How do they learn from you?
I'm on every social media site. My artists, you'll see me, but you can go to my website at www.carpediemmanagementgroup.com and look me up. And always hit me up. I'll put my number out there, but I'm going to say carpediemmanagementgroup.com. Hit me up on the email. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to when you started the business. What happened in that moment? What was the catalyst for you saying, you know what, I'm about to make this official?
Man, for several years, I'm not afraid to say it. I had a business, but didn't have a business. But when it starts growing,
that's most of us.
Familiar with that one.
but when it starts making money and you starting to realize, hey, let me get my LLC, let me get everything together. You know what I mean? Because I was just going so fast, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And then Lord pushed me to, hey, you got to get right. And when I went to the casinos, it was like you couldn't get paid unless you had insurance and LLC.
You got to be legit.
Right. You got to be legit. Yeah. So that just kind of, man, when the casino was all new money for me. And I was just like, wow. And I realized that you can get, it's a whole nother tax bracket out here. You just keep on working,
That actually brings me to another question, right? So you've talked a lot about being a promoter, right? And I think the vast majority of us understand being a promoter to be something like, I call a venue, I book a venue, I give them a door guarantee, bar guarantee, whatever the case may be. I put on the show, I go home, I rinse and repeat. But you've talked about not only doing that, but you're talking contracts, casino contracts and things like this. So help us to understand the world past calling, booking a venue, and putting on the show. What else is out there? Because you seem to be doing more.
You got to have a contract to protect you. In a perfect world, a handshake is good, but man, when that money start flowing, people forget. So it's just best to have it in writing and dot your I's and cross your T's. That's just you protecting yourself and your investment.
Yeah.
And that's all I would say as a promoter. Yes, have a contract with the venue, have a contract with the artist, have a contract with the DJ. It's just have a contract with security. You just have a contract with everybody.
Cross your I's and dot your T's.
Absolutely.
So when you talk about a contract with the casino, is this something bigger than a one event thing? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Weekly. They pay. You look at doing 4 shows a month, but they pay you on a weekly basis. You winning.
So every month y'all booking 4 shows at the casino.
Yeah, and it ain't no little budget that they got money. Yeah, so they
Yeah,
and that's just kind of that took me to my next level to where all the comedians was like, hey man, I don't know if y'all know, but we going to Vicksburg at the Lady Luck Casino.
Yeah.
Because I was able to use the casino money to book my guys, and I just kind of added on to my reputation.
Yeah. So now you don't just knock on doors. People knock on your door.
Yeah, they calling now. Man, let me come pick that money up. I'm like...
Yeah.
So where are you operating at now?
Man, I'm operating out my house, man. I operate out my house.
I love it, bro.
To cut down my costs.
Yep.
I'm not going to do a storefront because my office is the world.
You can write off space in your house.
Yeah, you know, I travel, man. We bring the shows to them. And that's what we do, you know, and that's the thing about entertainment, you know, flow like water, man, you know, and that's the blessing of it.
So are you in all markets now? You all doing shows
all
everywhere
markets,
now?
Everywhere. It's a blessing.
Man, that's so fucking beautiful, man. I want to dip into a story for a moment. What's been one moment on the road, regardless of who you are traveling with, where you were like, oh shit, this is going south real fast? Man,
we did a show in Tyler, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was with what's the guy, light-skinned guy, man, Pooch Hall?
Yeah.
The promoter got Kerwin there. Kerwin's on stage. And man, we just noticed that, you know, I asked him for the money and he was like, man, scrambling and man. And so come to find out, nobody on the show got paid. You know, it was just like, you know, hey, what's going on? We out of town. So, man, needless to say, I had to talk with the promoter. You know, I got Kerwin his check. We all right. But, yeah, man, it was just like,
sound like
you know,
my office hours are 9 to 5 kind of moment.
and that let me know the, you know, instead of you doing something stupid, getting yourself locked up, that's why you need a contract. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that bonds them to legally so you can just go get your money because that's what you want anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, And
the right mistakes turn into great lessons, man.
Absolutely.
Turn into great lessons.
Had to be in Texas, too.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Texas.
Yeah. Texas really been fucking up quite a lot lately.
Yeah. Except the Cowboys. Cowboys is booming.
Man, what's the advice you tell people just to be able to go motivate themselves?
Don't let the grass grow under your feet. Don't take all day to do nothing. Seize the day. Go do it.
Yeah. What's next for you, brother?
Man, like I said, we shooting movies. We finna shoot our own movies, man. We finna work on. We got the followers, so we just finna put our own content together, and we're gonna put it out there.
I love that, brother. I love that. Let's Art, you got anything, brother, before I move into this F section? Cool.
Good.
Man, I really love to kind of turn the microphone over to our guest and let them share whatever it is that they want to share with our audience. And as I was thinking about this episode and reflecting on like the Facebook post that I saw come from you, right? The Facebook post that I saw hitting from people who were supportive of you and were watching you. The thing that really struck me was you have been truly consistent this entire time. Like personally, like to the fact that I know that there's going to be a holiday show in Vicksburg because you do it every single year. So as you think about the most important elements of creating a plan and executing a plan, what are those to you?
Man, you got to really work for it. I know you can say you want it, but do you really want it? When you hit that hump, when somebody tells you no, it ain't this. Are you gonna find a way? Are you gonna find a way? And that's the only thing that, you know, that I would encourage people to do is because you're going to have people, it's going to be your family, your best friend. They don't want to see you make it.
Yeah.
They don't want you better than them. So they're going to say, don't do it. It ain't going to work. And then when it start working, they're like, man, you work, you know.
You going to put me on?
Yeah. But, you know, it's one of them, trust yourself. You can lie to everybody but yourself. Yeah. You're gonna work for it or you're not.
Yeah. What's been the thing that has brought you the most pleasure that you've worked for?
Man, actually seeing my dad like, hey, boy, you know, because when I was with the casino, man, he was like, you running the streets, you in the streets. You know, he was hard on me, man, but now I think he sees that I'm working for myself, I'm successful. You know, we ain't out here doing nothing bad, man. Yeah. We making people laugh, man. Laughter is joy.
Yeah.
And man, that's what we spreading, man.
So
you know.
He sees now, this is something. This is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is real. Huh?
Legit.
Yeah. Well, bro, at the end of the episode, man, I always want to give our guests the opportunity to say whatever it is that's on their heart or mind to say. So while you have the ear of the entire Wild Black audience, bro, what do you want to tell them?
I just want to tell you, if you're out there and you have any doubt on starting your business, listen to me. Jump off the porch right now. Stop wasting time. Do it right now. Start learning today. That's the only way you're going to get somewhere tomorrow.
That's beautiful. Listen, Wild Black, I know today's episode is just a slight bit shorter than normal, but I always try to respect our guests and their timeline. Elton's got to go to another engagement. He laced you all with a bunch of dope information, things to get you off your ass and go get moving. So, brother, if you would just tell the people again how to track you, how to keep up with you, how to engage with you, we'll get out of here.
Carpe Diem Management. CarpeDiemManagementGroup.com is my email. Hit me up, 601-709-7894. We seize the day at Carpe Diem Management.
That's what I'm talking about. Art, brother, you got anything?
Hey, I love it. Seize the day.
Let's
get it.
All right, Wild Black, peace. We out. We love you.